Hello and welcome to Life at Your Own Will podcast. I'm your host Will Venus and I'm joined again by my co-host Jay, who unfortunately had to take a little bit of time away from the limelight. So welcome back, Jay. How are you? Was it your choice to take some time away from the limelight?
No, it was you. Not complaining.
Oh right, so you're not enjoying this?
I'm just taking a nice of a wee break.
Okay. Have you recharged your batteries? Have you recalibrated? Have you came back with, lots of fabulous ideas?
I'm Duracell Optimum now.
All right. Well then, you can host. On you go.
No, thanks, you do it.
Well, no, you're the one with fully charged batteries.
No, you better you do it. The people want you.
Well, Jay, I've had it. So this episode is going to be about annoyances, confessions of millennials, because I believe that's what we're called.
Okay.
I had to look that up because I didn't know what it meant.
You're not Gen Z,
You hear all
no?
these buzz words going around and you have no idea what they are.
Like Gen Z and...
There's a small annoyance. People who don't speak coherent sentences.
Yeah, and
Or people who don't use grammar.
like saying
Grammar's not in anymore.
Like saying Jep.
What's Jep?
Jeopardy.
People say that.
Yes.
People actually say you're in Jep.
I gather so.
Where have you heard that?
In Cleveland.
Okay, bad example.
Yes, well.
So anyway, welcome back, Jay. Tell the listeners how you are, what you've been doing.
I've been drumming.
Drumming?
I've been putting ribbons on doors at work.
Yeah. Well, they've heard that before.
Yes.
Anything new?
I've been trying to sort the broadband out, which is finally sorted, so...
I hate dealing with utilities. Hate it. Grown-up stuff, I hate it.
What else have we been doing? Watching the Third Doctor last night. The first ever Spearhead from Space, which is his first story.
Because I know you like your audio dramas, but is that
TV show.
a TV show? Okay.
1970 something.
Okay. By the way, if you're new to the podcast, we just talk about whatever we want, and sometimes we have guests on, like we did last week. And next week, oh my god, we have such a fantastic guest coming on. I'm not going to tell you who she is just yet, but let's just say she has a really, really, really cool job, doesn't she?
And she's impacted our lives in a massive way.
Yeah, so we won't say anything more. But after I've done the recording, I'll probably do some trailers so you can find out who it is. So follow the pod and tell all your friends and family and neighbours and their dogs and your librarian and your shop assistant about this fantastic podcast.
And your milkman.
Yeah, because that's coming back, isn't it? The resurgence of milk deliveries.
Oh.
Not that we get it.
We should actually.
See, that's just reminded me of a really, really bad annoyance. Really bad annoyance. Cold callers at the door. I fucking hate them. I hate them because we're autistic. We don't have time to prepare. We don't have it within us to say piss off. We're not interested. We have to stand there and feel sorry for them and just let them talk their spiel and then probably accept what they want, and then retrospectively say no, I've changed my mind, rather than at that point say go away. So what I've done is get one of those no call caller stickers for the front door. I hate cold callers. I know people have a job to do, and I used to be one of those cold callers. I used to go around houses because I worked for this company. It was one of those MLM companies, and it was, are you sure that you've got your cavity wall and loft insulation? So I know what it's like. So in my mind I'm like, I need to let them say their spiel, but I don't want what they've got. I don't want what they're offering.
I love it.
No, you don't. You don't answer the door.
I know I'm joking.
I mean, we've had 3 different types in the last week, haven't we?
We've had biscuits. We've had
biscuits.
We've had biscuits recently.
What do you mean biscuits at the door?
Well, I've had recently tea and biscuits sometime. Not here, but I've had tea and biscuits. Someone...
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Someone was offering like tea bags, monthly subscription with free biscuits.
No, be just like typhoid tea bags.
I've got Taylor's and I've got Twinings at the moment.
Yeah, you're a tea snob. I'm a coffee snob. Yeah, so we had... What was the cold caller for that time? Oh yeah, it was some sort of charity. I support enough charities and I can't afford to do anything more. Cost of living and all that. So I felt bad for that, but... And also the guy at the door, he was quite young and he had a job to do and he probably had commission to get, so I felt really bad. So that was that one. There's been another one saying, would you like to change broadband? Well, no, because we've just signed for another one. Oh, but we could get you a good deal. Okay, so you're going to pay the 2-year contract? No, well, how can I take up another contract then? We're going to have two broadband providers
Exactly.
at the same time.
Can't afford it, don't need it.
No. So that was that one. What was the other one? What was the other one? I'm sure another one was, oh no, they didn't actually come to the door, but they accosted me at the bus stop one time, and I think they were Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Oh, yes.
This was around the time where I didn't really have a lot of this thing called patience. I mean, I don't have buckets of it now, but they were saying, we can save you, and I said, well, you're far too late, I'm a raving homosexual. And they just backed out of the bus stop.
Oh, well done, you. I've got family members who are Jehovah's. Well, did have.
Really? Oh, how bad for them.
Yes, well.
I mean, we don't, we support anyone that follows religion, just don't try and put it on us.
No.
I mean, if it brings you support and comfort and stability, great. Just don't try and put it on me.
Exactly.
Have you got any annoyances that you want to get off your chest?
Just people pressing lift buttons or elevator buttons if you're in America and traffic light buttons after they were being pressed.
Well, you've never been to America recently, so how is that a small annoyance?
No, but here it is because they call lifts elevators over there.
Oh, you don't like them calling them elevators?
No. I don't like them pressing the button when it's already pressed for the floor.
Why?
Because they've already pressed it. It's going to go up to the floor. You're not going to get any quicker. Especially with traffic lights, you're not going to press it again thinking it was already on.
Yeah, but like me, you might think, oh, maybe it's not fully pressed. That's why it's taking so long.
True, but the light's already showing. And it's like it's going to...
I mean, the traffic lights in Edinburgh are awful.
True, just annoying.
Half of them don't work.
I know, yeah. Well, the trams don't work. The traffic lights don't work, so...
Do trams have traffic lights?
The tram lines somehow affect, I think, the traffic light system, because sometimes when the trams go off, some of the traffic lights don't work. Or it's a very coincidental occurrence.
Okay, yeah, okay. This next one that I don't like because it makes me feel deeply uncomfortable. It's when in the UK, well, where we are, basically, you ring up the doctor for an appointment and you have to tell the receptionist what's wrong with you. I don't want to tell a fucking receptionist what's wrong with me. I don't want to tell a receptionist if I've got grapes hanging at my arse.
Yeah, but they need to know if it's how serious it is. They've got other people to be more serious to see.
Yeah, but it's none of their business.
I know, but I know they're not like Mrs. Raven.
And I don't think that they sign the same confidentiality things as doctors do.
True, but they're not Mrs. Raven / Barbara Lovisage, are they?
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, you've got to go to the effort of constantly having to redial because the phone's always engaged. So when you eventually get through, it's like, please wait in line. Then you eventually get through to speak to someone. It's another delay. All I want to do is make an appointment. By the time you get to make the appointment, there's no appointment.
Or we have to. Me mum going sometime years ago. Then you hear them behind saying, "Is the phone lines working again?" Even though they're saying the phone lines are working, you should have made an appointment, and they're not. They're basically lying.
Yeah, or they say, "Yeah, we've given you the appointment," and then they give you the wrong appointment time. You've written it down, but that's what I always have to do because I always have to ring back and say, "What's the time?" Because they always give me the wrong time.
Yeah, they like to do it on purpose.
And then if you're like 5 minutes late for the appointment, cancelled.
Yeah, but
but honestly, when you go for an appointment in the UK with a GP, the doctors are always late. Yeah, I get it. They've got hundreds of patients to see within a day, but it's all right for them to be late, but you're not allowed to be late.
Because they get paid for that, that's why they're entitled sometimes.
I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one, but we've got this thing in the UK, dear listener, if you're listening from overseas, and queue jumpers. There's a queue for a reason. The first in line gets first. Last is last. People that jump queues! It annoys me.
Yeah,
especially at bus stops. Because you've queued for all that time and you're like, I really need a seat. And there's no fucking seats left because everyone's went on before you.
Or there's no apparent queue at the bus stop. You don't know where it starts. You try and go somewhere and someone else tries to get in for things. They're the queue. And
and then because you've been at the bus stop the longest because there was no one else around when you arrived at said bus stop.
Yeah.
Oh, this is riveting conversation, isn't it? And they all go on before you.
Yeah.
And then they give you this dirty look when you try to get in before them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
This next one, it's on different levels. Allies that don't authentically support you. We're both gay. Sorry, dear listener, if that offends you, but tough. And we're both autistic. And I suppose I could call myself trans since I'm non-binary, and these people that say, yeah, we're allies, we love the gays, we love drag queens, blah blah blah, but they don't show their support,
They just say it.
or they want to challenge your gender or your sexuality, and it's like, well, that's not being an ally.
Well, that's just trying to appease.
Or this this thing that I've had recently, where, well, how can you call yourself they them? Isn't that multiple personality? No, non-binary is a gender. Multiple personality is a disorder. That's why it's called multiple personality disorder. You're confusing them.
You don't get multiple gender disorder.
Well, you do. You get gender dysphoria.
Yeah, but you don't get like non-binary disorder.
Well, no. And also, non-binary, it means different things to whatever the individual is.
Exactly.
It basically means that they just don't identify as man or woman.
Exactly.
It's somewhere in the fluidity of life. Yeah, that annoyed me. And they're like, well, how can you call yourself they? That's various people. Okay, so you're breaking down my existence into words now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
It's like, well, if you want to look up they, look up the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and it does say otherwise.
Exactly, or Urban Dictionary.
Well, I wouldn't rely on Urban Dictionary.
No.
No. I mean, and also with the people who say they support autistic people when they don't. Have you ever came up against anything when people are like, yeah, we support you, yeah, we get that you're neurodivergent, and something happens, you're like, do you really?
Well, that's like one of the Trump daughters said that she supports people like us, but all she said it. She never did anything about it.
Oh yeah, you get people that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk
Yeah,
with
exactly.
with you.
Exactly, because they think they're being hip and now.
They're being hip and now, okay.
They know.
So they're following trends, really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel it'll change?
How do I feel? What'll change?
Like people not realizing they have to walk the walk rather than just talk it.
Well, I mean, people like us explaining what we need, and if they just listen.
Of course, that's what we need. But a lot of people just think it's, like I say, trendy to do it now, and it's like once this trend goes, they might not do it because they'll find something else to be trendy with. Yeah, it's not nice because it makes us feel like we're a lesser species, sort of thing.
Okay.
Like we're lesser people. And we're not, because we're just the same.
Yeah, it's a different brain type.
Yeah, have you heard the song "Ordinary People" by Sly and the Family Stone?
No.
The 60s song. It's all about they're a band, but they don't care. All they care about is making music. They talk about how the poor rich one won't help the poor one, the white one won't help like the black one, and they just don't like, and they want to say that it doesn't matter if you're a butcher or baker or a bass player, whatever instrument you play or whatever profession you've got.
Butcher, baker, or wig maker.
Yeah, exactly. That, yeah. It's all forth and doobie doobie doo, like that. They don't really care. As long as they're making music and making people happy, and as long as you're being in harmony as one, that's what they care about.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we all are as one. We all bleed red. We're all human. We're all the same, really. Yeah, we look all different on the outside. But, yeah, we're all part of the same race.
Exactly.
It just so happens that some people they don't have the same, dare I say, empathy as autistic people have. Because that's a myth that autistic people have no empathy, but it's quite the contrary. We talked about that last week, actually, me and Nancy.
I think as well, what grinds my gears a lot, if people thinking they're right all the time, and I think they have to be the person that's like, oh, but we know what's best for you, when it's not best, because obviously, because they think they know, like, say, politicians, like, they put things through, like, say, the trams, without consulting anyone.
Oh, yeah, like the low traffic neighbourhoods that's going on right now.
The trams and all
yeah,
that.
they consult people, then they get their findings, and they don't use them, they go completely against them.
Yeah.
No one wanted these things,
No.
but they're still putting them in place.
Like the trams, we didn't want the trams in the first place. We didn't want the extension, or the further extensions that are happening. But they went through with it, because I think it's better for the economy, better for the country, better for the city. But then, all the turmoil and havoc and chaos and hurt and sorrow it's brought.
Yeah, because I mean, like businesses have had to close down. Businesses that have been there for decades.
Yep, Ocean Terminal, the local biggest shopping centre, that's now, it's not the same anymore because there's no people going down to Leaf because of it all. And it's like, yeah, I think they just need to realise that we don't need things. The buses are fine. People walk.
Well, they were fine, but they've fucked up now as well.
Exactly. They change the routes all the time, and then the big thing, and it's like, you don't know if you're coming or going with them now.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like this, listener? Do you feel that the world's changing too much and that it's like the case of if it's not broke,
Don't fix it.
don't fix it?
Well, in Glasgow, they're getting rid of the night buses
Why?
because it's not viable. They're not making enough money. They can't make a profit on them.
Well, fair enough.
But you have to recognise there's people that do finish late jobs. Glasgow's a bigger city. They can't all afford, to get taxis, walking and stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand that, but they'll just have to get whatever the next one is.
But I mean, there's no night buses all night. So
Well, then usually employers have a responsibility to get their employees home safely if they're
True.
working at that time of night.
True, but it's just not fair that the fact that they're taking that service away when people do rely on it, when people, and it's going to take jobs away from people as well, which is not nice,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And another thing that's really pissing me off, I mean, it's becoming even more and more apparent that MPs are now using distraction tactics in the media. They're distracting us from what we really should be talking about, what the real issues are.
Yeah, but I think it's also always been the case.
Yeah, no, that's always been the case, but it's now proven.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look at things like Jesus. I mean, not Jesus. Sorry, Jesus. Things like lockdown, the pandemic. I want to know why, because if you're from overseas, you probably not even know about this because they do distraction things. Like during 2020 when the pandemic was at its most prevalent peak, they were having parties at number 10 Downing Street.
Cheese and wine.
Cheese and wine. So I want to know why they weren't as scared of this thing as much as the public were. Why is that?
Because they think, they probably thought, oh, everyone else is staying home, then we'll have to worry about it. They'll have parties anyway, they don't care getting it because they don't think it's...
But what makes them different from the average human?
Because they don't think it's as serious as it was. That's why.
So if it wasn't as serious as it was, why were all these restrictions forced upon us?
No, it was serious as it was, but they didn't believe that because they're so stuck up and think they are immune.
Yeah, but why are they different?
Because they think they're immune because they're posh and rich. They think they can get things like that.
Class has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but that's not how they.
Yeah,
see
no,
it.
I know, but
yeah, of course.
They're just the same.
Yeah,
they're not different to the rule.
Yeah, but they all go to the poshest schools and they don't care. That's the problem. These people like these to get the top jobs and money that they don't need, then they complain that they're not getting enough money. Like Boris Johnson complaining he's not getting enough money to pay for his. He was going to pay for his.
Like, have these people any idea what it's like for the average person living?
No, because he was complaining he wasn't getting enough money to pay for a wage, to pay for his was it his flat painting or something, from wallpapering or something.
Oh,
something like that.
God, poor guy. And then there's people literally starving.
And people on 2 full-time jobs who still can't afford stuff.
It's ridiculous.
I know.
Absolutely ridiculous. We're meant to be, the UK is meant to be one of the richest countries in the world. And there are people going to food banks.
Yep, on 2 full-time jobs.
Where's the sense? What are they doing about that?
Nothing big.
What are they doing about climate control?
The fact is that...
we're doing our best about climate control. Yeah, turn down your radiators, don't use the tumble dryer. It's not always the end user that's the problem.
It's the businesses.
It's the businesses, like they're constantly... I mean, in Edinburgh, right, it's unrecognisable to what it was 5 years ago. There's new buildings going up everywhere. Yeah, I get that people need new houses to live in.
Offices,
but it's not houses that they're building, it's offices, it's industrial stuff.
It's hotels.
It's stuff that's
restaurants.
generating a lot of heat, using a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's
that's the thing that's making the world hotter.
Exactly, it's hotels and student accommodation and
of course
restaurants.
I know I keep interrupting you, but you will get people writing in or thinking, oh yeah, that's just you saying that. I mean, what do you say to those people?
Just look at the facts. I mean, it's true. Britain wasn't built for the heat. The fact that place in Spain last week on one part got 60 C. This is Celsius.
60 degrees Celsius?
On the beach here on land, I think it was, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and that's why Biden was on yesterday talking about the thing, because it is... In America, I think it's hot here. America's got worse because...
God, don't even get me started in America. It's diabolical over there at the moment.
Well, the heat is, anyway.
Yeah, the heat is, and the situations, but then you'll get people saying, "Well, you don't even live in America. Why should you care?" I'm like, yeah, just because people don't live in the same place I am doesn't mean that I don't care.
Exactly. That's not nice.
That's what humans are meant to do for each other. Fucking give a shit.
Exactly. I know.
Oh, I mean, how do you feel, listener? Is the world just going to shit? Should we be in constant panic? That's another thing. The media, it's not giving us a break. They want us to be in constant trauma, constant panic, fear mongering.
Yeah, this is what news is. Happy news is not news so much.
Yeah, I know it doesn't sell papers, but what they're saying affects the world.
Exactly, I know. It's awful.
And again, it's more distraction methods from the things that we should be talking about, like climate change, people not affording their rent, people not being able to afford to eat.
Exactly, warm their houses.
Like the rise in attacks on LGBTQIA+ community.
Yeah, the rise on anti-Semitic attacks as well.
Yeah, what is going on?
It's going back to like 1940s.
I mean, how do we get back from this?
It needs to be a big overhaul. People need to realise that they can't be like this.
How is it overhauled though?
Because they need to realise that we don't need, like, this is my grand scheme of things. That's what down to money, religion, politics.
Yeah.
That's what segregates people. Money because you can't afford stuff. Religion because they tell you what to do and how to live, and it's not right. And politics because obviously they get to do what they want.
Yeah, with absolutely no consequences.
Yeah, no consequences, no reprimanding.
Reprimanding. Yeah, I mean, like these companies that gave huge contracts to MP Friends for their PPE stuff.
Yeah.
That never happened.
And what about
the fraud stuff that's not been investigated either?
Yeah. And what
about you're sounding like conspiracy theorists.
And what about the companies, like I know mentioned, they don't pay enough tax and get away with it?
Oh yeah. Whereas you get indie companies who bend over backwards to pay their taxes on time, can't get a break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's not nice to have that. And the world's just a crazy place to want.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants everyone put in their own little boxes. Everyone wants everyone to not get along. Well, not everyone, but you know what I mean, listener. You know what I mean. People just want conflict.
They do. They thrive on it. It's a massive drug for them. So, yeah, it's not nice at all. I don't think it's going to get sorted anytime soon. I really don't think, like, people like Greta Thunberg who keeps getting arrested and, like, taken out of protests, that's not going to sort the problem. I'm not
exactly in agreement with some of the things that she does and says.
No, because she's in the last couple of weeks, she's been like lifted by police. Like,
why?
Because she's going protesting and they're causing a scene, and she's getting fined as well. And it's like,
but I mean, the thing is with these protesters, like with the oil and gas or whatever it is that they're protesting against, like when they're throwing paint on snooker tables or bank buildings, it brings attention to that. It brings attention to the ridiculousness of the action. It doesn't change anything.
No, and it makes them out that they're what they're standing for is crackpot, because they must be crackpot if they're crackpot.
Because it's like you're seeing displays of essentially violence against buildings.
Yep.
How are you meant to respect acts of violence? How are you meant to change your way of thinking when you see that?
Exactly. They don't care. And as well as, like, I don't think global warming's going to get changed. They kept having meetings. They keep finding agreements, but nothing gets done.
I've just thought of something, but carry on.
Nothing gets done about it. I don't think it's going to get sorted. I really don't.
You know what really makes me laugh is when you get these people, like world leaders, who, are saying don't use your tumble dryer, don't use your central heating a few days a week,
yeah,
or don't drive your car, or use a bus.
Yeah.
They're then flown into these meetings on a private jet
or helicopter.
How much energy and fuel does that take?
Well, do you know about Lorna?
And then they'll say, well, it's for their safety.
Well, do you know?
I mean, Princess Anne, she travels on the tube. Exactly. Nothing's ever happened to her.
No, exactly. And, like, what about Lorna Slater?
Who?
Lorna Slater, the co-Green Party leader for Scotland. She refused to go on a ferry because the times weren't suitable. So $9.50 for a time, right? $9.50 for normal. That's how they get around now. There's no buses.
In the morning.
Well, I said, well, no, they don't have any. Like,
so what's $9.50?
That's the price.
Of what? The ferry?
Yeah, the ferry. So, but guess what she did?
I don't know.
She chartered her own boat. Guess how much?
I dread to think
£1,000.
of taxpayers' money.
Probably. And Hamza Youssef said,
Well, she'll not have paid for that.
no, and Hamza says, right, the First Minister, he actually agrees what he said. And it's like, yeah. And apart, yeah, so there she's trying to, so she'd rather commission a cause. You know why she commissioned it?
I don't know.
Because the times weren't suitable for her.
Oh, really?
Well,
Oh, it was inconvenient. Poor
She's
love.
supposed to be going on the ferry to show that it's a vital service and that, but it's not, she's chartering her own boat.
Yeah, if lots of other people use it at the same time.
Exactly, but then £1,000 just to charter a boat.
Just because the other times were
Yeah.
inconvenient for
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I know.
Can you think of something lighter? Some sort of lighter annoyance? Like, I don't know. Just to lighten the mood a bit.
Certain ready meals and certain like films on like packaging you can't open.
Oh
the
yeah,
food.
when you're, like those couple of times a month, wink wink, when you can't be bothered cooking and you use a microwave meal.
Yeah, or other stuff food from and you can't open it.
Yeah, or it opens around the sides.
Yeah.
And the middle bit you can't take off.
And it's so hard to pierce it because
yeah,
it's
and then you gotta get your fingers, steamed.
Yeah.
Or covered in whatever is in it.
Exactly, it's not nice.
Yeah. Or when you go to the fridge and there's a morsel of milk left in a milk carton, and instead of emptying the whole thing and using it for your tea or whatever, someone else goes and opens a brand new one and doesn't put the old one in the recycling.
Exactly.
Who does that?
I don't know.
Well, here's a clue. You do.
I didn't that time.
You do! Well, you have done.
Or
maybe not that time.
Maybe not that time, but maybe previously, but not anymore.
Yeah. Or we've got a really small kitchenette, and yeah, it's that small. It's like a shoebox. And as soon as you open the kitchen door, you see the nice washing machine right in front of you. And so you can't miss it. But rather than people putting the washing in the washing machine, they just leave it on the floor, right underneath the washing machine door.
Do you know?
I don't.
No.
You do.
Only if this thing's full or things inside are wet.
Yeah, but things get wet when you use them in the bath.
Okay. Fair. No, I mean, yeah, but if the other things are being washed, they're not going to be washed stuff in with dirty stuff, am I?
No, but the clean stuff would be in the dryer.
Okay, fair enough.
Or what else? When you like when you finish with an item of plastic, and you leave the spoon stuck in this little plastic thing, and it sticks because it dries.
Yes, I
What's
know
wrong with you when you're finishing it?
Yes, I know you do that.
I don't do that.
Or
You
how
do
about-
that.
How about when you're finished eating something in your plate and you leave it in the living room anyway? You don't take it through to the kitchen.
Yeah, no, you do that all the time. Why is that?
But you do that as well.
Yeah, but I don't let things dry and go
Oh.
crusty on it.
Alright, fair enough.
So like I say to you, if you're using a plate and it's got like, I don't know, pasta sauce on it or something, rather than letting it dry in and having to really scrub the dish, because we've not got a dishwasher, no room for it. Rather than scrub the dish the day after, go and wash it as soon as you finish with it.
Fair.
It washes off nice and easy.
Fair. That's true.
Or like when you get to the grand age of, well, you're nearly 30, aren't you?
No, 40.
No, you're not 40. Daddy. Ugh.
Mm-mm. Daddy.
Like when you get to the grand age of 30 and you've not quite mastered the art of aiming in the toilet. And there's drip, drip, drip on the floor.
That's you.
That is not me. It's not.
It is.
It's you!
Oh, you no evidence for that. No proof.
I have. I've got the peg that I put in my nose when I go into the bathroom.
Really?
Mm.
Okay, if you say so.
Or when you don't open the window after a bath and it's winter and there's condensation running down the glass.
Fair, that's I do remember now.
Yeah, it's 7 years later.
Well, still I remember.
What, the day after?
You know?
When the windows all turn black.
No, of course not.
Look at that lovely mould.
Oh, yes, good for my tea.
Better wipe that mildew. God.
You know what annoys,
What else can we... Oh, sorry.
you know what annoys me? When you don't, and I keep asking for net curtains, you won't give me any.
Net curtains are common.
But we're common.
No, we're not.
We're working class.
Yeah, we're working class, but we're not common.
What are we then?
We've got our own class, darling.
Okay, fair enough. I still want net curtains.
We're not getting net curtains. They're
Well,
awful.
can I get avocado bathroom then?
No. Avocado. My nana had an avocado bathroom. They're awful.
What about blue then?
Yeah, maybe blue, but not avocado. Come on.
That's very one from the grave though.
Yeah, but that was an old couple that lived in an old style house. Well, maybe not quite old style house, but it was old decorated.
Well, can I get you a jacket like his in? Like Victor's in?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, and a hat.
Not the hat.
No.
I get headaches when I wear hats and when I wear wigs.
Okay. Aye, but still, avocado bathrooms are a lovely colour.
They're awful.
You don't have style.
I do have style. You've either got or you haven't got style.
Out a mile when you repels like the swells. You will down every mirror and shine.
No! Shh. No one wants to hear it.
The No Ones do, because they did that song.
Yeah, and that worked out massively.
They're on the Two Ronnies doing it.
Hmm?
They're on the Two Ronnies doing that song.
Yeah, the two Ronnies that took the piss out of everything.
Yeah, they didn't. They did it in their segment, for their musical segment.
Yeah, that must be the highlight of your career. Yeah, you go on a parody show with your music act.
Yeah, but that's how they got discovered. Like, you're like the hand transfer and how they got more famous, like Barbara and Elaine and all that.
Okay.
Now I'm pricing Georgie fame.
Is there, before we finish on this topic, is there anything else that's annoying you currently?
It's a wee bit too hot.
The temperature's a bit too hot.
Yeah.
So when I asked you, do you prefer winter, and you said no, you lied to me.
No, just now it's a bit hot. I do prefer summer.
But how can you prefer summer and not like heat?
But it's a different heat here compared to abroad.
Oh yeah, it's a dry heat abroad.
Yeah, compared to a certain place.
Italy, I didn't really notice the difference.
No, I just think it's nicer heat
Because I lifted my finger to the air and couldn't.
But I guess you get nicer scenery to look at when you've got the heat, so that takes away from it, you know.
Yeah, but once you've seen it once,
Yeah, no, but it's nice to see it again.
do you really notice the difference in the humidity?
Yeah. And because you got the sea as well, the nicer sea in it kind of makes it nicer.
We didn't have the sea, we had a lake.
Well, you know what I mean.
Well, it's different.
Okay.
The fact checkers tell me so.
Okay, a lake then.
Yeah, Lake Garda, fabulous place. We want to retire there. So follow this podcast so we can earn lots of money and retire there and bring you live podcasts from Lake Garda. Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic?
It will be.
There was other things we were meant to talk about, but can you remember what they were?
No,
This podcast has been so ranty, so random.
no, actually, but we can do it next. We'll figure it for next time.
Well, you're not going to be on for at least 2 weeks.
We'll do it after 2 weeks then.
Okay. So tell the listeners about your drumming lessons.
Was trying to do Purple Rain, but unfortunately it didn't do very well.
Why not?
Because I'm not good at, not got to the stage where I can drum along to music.
So, why did you want to do drumming lessons?
I just love drums, I love music, I love instruments.
Well, why drums in particular?
I think just...
I think it's because you imagine the drum is my head.
No, I just love drums. I love watching Clem Burke and Don Powell and Debbie Peterson and Jeff Picaro and all that drumming.
So do you want to be in a band eventually?
I just want to learn to play certain songs, my favourite songs.
Okay, which ones?
Rosanna, Mushanga,
By whom?
Toto, ABBA songs like, you know, Tears for Fears, Doobies.
Did ABBA feature drums a lot?
Yeah, they've got a drummer. They've got Ring Ring video. They've got drummer. Yeah.
Okay.
I was sitting by the.
Could you do the drums to my favourite song?
I'd possibly, depending what the drums are. If it's an electronic or like a drum machine or it's proper drums, I suppose.
What's my favourite song?
Neptune.
No, it's Venus by Lady Gaga.
It is.
I'm sure that has drums.
I will do.
I've listened to the stems.
It should do.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did you just want to try something new?
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to do drums.
Yeah. So that's the moral of this podcast episode. If you want to rant. If you want to try something new, just go for it.
Yes.
I'm trying to think, is there anything new that I should be trying?
How about an instrument? Like
Mm,
harmonica.
no.
Well, you're wearing blue, so it'd be good for you. Doing the blues.
I mean, when I was at school, I was I was too small to do the violin, so I had the viola.
Oh, viola, yeah.
It's awful at that. What else did I do? I had the flute. Yeah, I played the flute. That's not a euphemism. Yeah, and a little bit of the keyboard at school, but that was it. Talking of schools, this is how old my school is. It's now featuring on YouTube on abandoned buildings,
Wow, that's crazy.
and it looks so small from what I can remember and so primitive.
Primitive.
Yeah, 'cause it looks so old-fashioned.
Imagine it is.
Yeah, and there's a bit in the one of these videos on YouTube where you get to go into the computer room, and there was a control panel for an expeller fan that I used to sit and play with to put the fan speed up and down,
Oh, wow.
make it reverse and go the other way.
That's just you.
Yeah,
Over.
autistic special interest with expeller fans. Yeah, so that's making me feel really young.
Well, you're only 45, dear.
I'm not 45. Listeners, write in. How old do you think I am? I'll give you a clue. It's not 45.
Much older.
It is not. So I think we're going to wrap up this podcast recording here before we start going on about some other random shit. So if you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, please leave us a 5-star review if you've got the time. You'll have the time because it only takes, half a minute on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Tell your friends about this podcast. Tell your neighbours. Pin it on your supermarket wall. You can follow us on @LifeAtYourOwnWill on Instagram. Don't forget to tune in next week because we've got that really exciting interview coming up. Check out the interview that I did last week with Nancy Pearsall. That was so fun to do. And whatever you're doing with your week ahead, I hope it's a fabulous one. Make sure you drink lots of nice fluid, wear your sunscreen, talk to your friends, check in with them and with yourself. And yeah, without further ado, we shall bid you goodbye. Take care. Speak soon. Bye.
Toodaloo.